Hi, and welcome to PEPP Story Live. And tonight I'm going to be talking about remote speaking, the whole thing that I've been doing this, 23 days now. So let's get into the whole topic of remote speaking and how it's going to affect all of our lives in the next few years. So, remote speaking. Now, you'll notice the lighting is a little bit different at the moment, and that's because I'm going to be talking a little bit about that. I'm going to bring in some lighting backgrounds just to show you some of the things that we can do and how easy it is to do this. This is a simple piece of software. It's a platform I'm using online in order to deliver, but there's lots of variations. And I don't know if you've had much experience in speaking remotely, speaking virtually yet. But certainly what we're seeing is after 2020, this is now the way of the world. And I think more and more of us now are investing time and some money in trying to make sure that we can present really well online, because we have at least another year of this. And by the time we get to the end of 2021, this is going to have become a new habit. So it's really, really important. So in terms of my PEPP story approach, purpose, experience, passion, performance, and story. This is part of the performance side of it. This is how we deliver it. It's the platform we deliver it on. And now I have to learn all the skills about being on this remote platform just as much as when I was on speaking on the stage. And we will come back and we'll be dealing with hybrid events in a minute. So let's just have a look. What's happened? In fact, I'm going to just talk a little bit briefly before I get into some of the other content on. It doesn't cost a lot of money. 2020 has pushed us forward about 5 years. This would have happened. By the time we got to 2025, we would have been doing this level of remote speaking. But 2020 just accelerated everything where we didn't have a choice. We had to get on with doing some training. It's nothing like the level it was yet. It will. Part of the problem is that people just haven't yet adjusted. I think throughout 2020, people were thinking, well, it's going to be able, we'll get the vaccine, we'll all be back. And we now know that the vaccine's here, but my God, we've got 7 billion people need to be vaccinated. Well, maybe not quite that many, but I mean, 5 million have been vaccinated in this country yet, and we have only just reached into the over 70s. There's a lot to be done, and even then, we don't know what the impact is going to be of all these new strains. So the fact is, we're going to be in a lot of uncertainty for the rest of this balance of this year. I think a lot of people after this are still going to be nervous. So we might as well just get on with it. Just start dealing with remote speaking. I enjoy it. I love it. I'm actually having better meetings now online than they used to be offline. And they're much more spontaneous. We can put meetings together at a fraction of the time, at a fraction of the cost. And that is the most important thing. There's now so many meetings going on. I just simply can't attend them all. So we're now having to be much more selective about which ones we go to. And I suspect that selection process is increasingly going to be which ones come across well, which ones are enjoyable, which ones do I feel engaged in? Because frankly, going to a meeting which is pretty dull on Zoom isn't your way. But you do not need to spend a lot. I'm using right now, I have got on here, I'm using my a camera. But I'm going to switch out from that camera, and I'm just going to go to the camera that's on my laptop, just to show you that if you want to, I think I have to move this. Yep, whoops, move that. It's not quite as good as the one that I was using there before, but that's my my camera on my laptop. A little bit of frickling there because I haven't got much light, but then I can change that. I can add in some lighting. I've got some top lighting here, which you see that's immediately taken all that speckling out. That's just it's called a softbox light, which just shines up at the ceiling. Before that, I was just using the room light. Or I've got, I'll take that one out and show you what I've got. A ring light here, which is just a single ring, which shines on me. It's got a bit of a filter on it, which creates that glow. I actually like both of them, so I use them both. the top light lights up the back behind me quite a lot. So as you can see, that's just using my camera here. I'll go back to the, I've got a webcam. It's the Logitech 920. Everybody pretty much uses the 920. It's an extremely good camera. I've got a Canon camera, which I can use, but Canon have had a problem. They didn't like being webcams. There is technology to now fix that. I'm going to try and use that, but I'm very happy with the Logitech. It's been doing very, very well. Now, I've got also various different microphones. Now, this is going to bring it into sign. This is my Blue Yeti microphone. Costs about 100 quid, I think it is, 120 quid. Brilliant mic. Absolutely perfect. Never had any problems, never needed headphones or anything. Just I have it on a, you can probably just see it's on a, well, probably can't quite see it. Let's just turn that. You can see it's on an arm attached to a table, so I can bring it in and out as I need it. I've got a table that I bought which can go up and down, and the reason I got that is because you can see behind me I've got a flip chart. And sometimes I use a flip chart, old style presentation. I just adjust the height of the table, adjust the height of the light, set the flip chart up, and occasionally I will even set it up so I'm using both. So I can set the camera at a different place so that this is then set for the. So I can set various different things up. Now, obviously, I've got one laptop that's driving everything. But we're not talking about expensive equipment. Under £100 for the Logitech camera. They may be a little bit more expensive now. Some of the better ones. Okay, I've got a very good laptop. I spent some money on that 5 years ago. It's my MacBook Pro. But most of the things here aren't costing an awful lot. I'm adding to things over the years I've been doing it now. If I want to change my backdrop, I can use. I've got quite a reasonable there, but let's just pull this up and you'll see. I just brought my lounge in. Now it is actually my lounge, but the lounge is used by others, so I can't really have it here. Oops, got a bit of a edge on that. I don't know why it's not quite. I think I've moved it. I think I've accidentally moved everything back a bit. Never mind. You have to position everything so that all you're going to see is what's on the camera. So this is it. And my room is full of lots of bits and pieces of screens and things and bits I've bought, and I've got drawers and boxes full of things that I've purchased that I've then later subsequently regretted. This is just a bit high tonight for some reason. I've set it up. Oops. Right, let's get that where it should be. There we are. I think we're okay. So let's get back to my there we are. We're all in place and back again. Just get that camera there. There we are. So it's not a huge amount. I'm using some software called StreamYard. We'll get back to StreamYard in a minute. Most of us are probably familiar with Zoom. That's the product everybody's using, and we're seeing it all over television and such like. And Zoom is brilliant for meetings. There's also Teams. Teams is the Microsoft product. Not as good, just been upgraded. Haven't yet had a chance to try their breakout rooms, but that's the great thing about Zoom is that you can split up into one-to-one meetings and breakout rooms, and you can move people around, and it's actually really good for making the meeting much more effective. But can you see how important it is just to have some reasonable lighting? Light yourself up. It doesn't need hugely complex and expensive lighting. You can do it with table lamps. All you need to do is just make sure you've got enough lighting to light you up effectively. And, I occasionally overlight myself, so I've got to watch that. Get a decent microphone. And, I've got a number of different microphones. I've got another one here. I was talking about this one last night. This is actually a very good microphone designed particularly for podcasting. So it takes a really good sound. You could do most of your meeting on here. You've got Zoom on here. You've got all sorts of meetings. You can do it. Lots of people attend Zoom meetings I'm talking to that are on here. Better to probably turn it that way if you can, rather than just have the vertical picture, but all the tools are there for us to attend meetings, to run meetings, to host meetings, and we can do it all from the comfort of our dining room or our lounge or wherever. Now, so Zoom, Teams, Google Meet. Google Meet is accelerating rapidly. I think Google suddenly realized they'd been left behind. The marketplace moved. Nobody expected this to happen so quickly. Zoom were there, and they were there just at the right time. This is StreamYard, and there are lots of things I can do on StreamYard. StreamYard is different from Zoom in that this is designed for live broadcasting. It's designed for me to talk to people. Now, I can bring in guests, and for the rest of next week, I'm hoping to bring in a number of guests that we can chat, and I can have up to 9 people on screen. So we can make it look a little bit like a Zoom meeting. But the goal here is this is a bit more like webinar, like a sort of webinar software. I can, if I want to, I can just have a slide up there, and I could narrate a slide. I can pop me in underneath it. So I haven't got a slide here at the moment, but I can pop the slide in there, which you saw me do last night. And there are all sorts of tools that I can do. I've got all of this branding, which I've got here, which I can take out if I want to. So it's just here. I can go to these banners. I can remove the banners. These are the lower thirds, and just present from here, having a chat from my dining room. It's different to Zoom in that this is designed to stream straight out onto the web. You can stream from Zoom, but to be honest, most times when we're having a Zoom meeting, or I'm at Zoom meetings 4 or 5 times a week, and I've got 2 regular meetings I hold on Fridays. And those meetings are just people sharing ideas, practicing things. We do all manner of tools. And there are a lot of other tools coming in that we can use. Let's just put my branding back in there. I can show video clips if I want to, as you've already seen. Just all I have to do is one little... And that's it. A piece of video drops in. It can be any video I've got that's uploaded that I can use, that I can keep running. I can put up timers to run to clock down and count down how we're going. There's all beautiful tools and tips, and it's really easy to use. Anyone can use it. You can use it for free. If you want to brand it and do add stuff in, then you need to pay. It's about £20 a month or something, and that's less than £1 a day for me, and I'm broadcasting on a daily basis. So excellent value for me. Now, let's get back into my flow. Most important thing, I think, is that you need to look professional on screen. And it doesn't mean that you've got to look all, suit and tie and everything else. No, you've just got to basically look good. And the most important thing is that, look at your audio first. If the audio is wrong, people will not stay. If it's crackly and mucking up, if you haven't got a decent microphone, microphones don't cost a lot of money. Under £100 you can get them. I've got a little microphone I showed last night, a tiny little one, just plug into my computer that just clips on the lapel. I don't tend to use that one because this the Blue Yeti is really, really good for me. People spend thousands on microphones, but you can get a quality microphone that enables you to broadcast well, without going to. You could just use what's in your laptop. Check it out, see how it sounds. They work quite well. A lot of people use just that. But if you want to up the ante a bit, just buy a decent microphone, plug it in, just a simple USB microphone. And cameras. I've talked a little bit about cameras. I've got various different cameras, but you can use the one on your machine. You can use a webcam, relatively easy. Lighting, background, get all those sorted out. A lot of people don't like green screen. They don't like the fact it puts a little glow. You need to light them quite well. But without a green screen, you can just position things around your room. You only need to worry about the little bit that's in frame, the bit that's actually going to show. The room could be a tip. You could be in a cupboard, as long as you've got the bit behind you, just looking right, or you've got a green screen, you can look professional. As I say, you can use your iPhone. There are a number of other meeting platforms around, GoToMeetings, BlueJeans, WebEx. What I'm finding as a speaker, if you're going to be speaking in a professional way, if you're going to be regularly working as a speaker, we're having to get to use all of these. And in fact, in the Professional Speaking Association, I've set up a remote speaking practice group. And if you are a professional speaker, do drop me a line. Just drop me a message on here, or drop me a line on Facebook. Just post a message. I'll get back to you, and I'll invite you to the group. If you're doing speaking on a regular basis, you're welcome to join us. It's not exclusively for the PSA, but it is designed for people who are speaking in a professional way. That is, you're getting paid to speak, and we just help each other to get better at doing this, because we're all having to learn an awful lot. The other thing about speaking virtually is that, particularly if you get to bigger meetings, I'm going to be working in a meeting in April. We had a big PSA, Professional Speaking Association summit in October, and that was on a big screen and a big scale. Lots of speakers, lots of things going on, 6 days of events. And for the last 3, it was literally non-stop from 8 in the morning till 11, 12 at night. And that required 3 or 4 different platforms, lots of people engaged in it, very tightly managed program, and some tech people at the background who we never saw, heard about them, but never saw. You need to have make sure you've got co-hosts, meeting hosts, AV support. The bigger the meeting, the more important it is to have technical team behind, making sure that slides are in the right place, speakers are in the right place, everything moves seamlessly from one to the other. And sometimes you're using 3 or 4 different platforms at a meeting to enable that to all happen as seamlessly as possible. And of course, then we've also got what are called hybrid events. Hybrid event is where, and I've done a few of these, where I speak from my dining room in Hull to an audience of people sitting in a room. And there what happens is that everything is set up so it's projected up onto a screen from the laptop in the same way that you would your PowerPoint slides, but it's me on the screen. But I get people to position the camera wherever, whatever camera is being used, so that I can see the audience. It doesn't have to be directly on the go. You can have a webcam set up so that it actually pans the audience, and I can see the audience that I'm speaking to. And then I can engage and interact with the audience just as if I was there physically in the room. It's just that I'm on the screen. And when you think about it, you've often gone to meetings, I'm sure, where you've been at the back and the speakers, way down in the distance. And so the only way you can see them is because there's a TV camera on them and it's projecting them up onto the screen. These hybrid meetings, I think we'll see a lot of those. I'm not sure how meetings are going to evolve as we come out of this pandemic, but what's certain is they're going to evolve differently to what it was before. And we are all going to have to be used to working remotely, speaking remotely, being able to have a conversation to a camera in a room when there's nobody else. And that's a strange experience when you first start. You're sitting in and there's no one, just this camera. You've got to keep remembering to look at the camera, because that's where, looking at people means looking at the camera. I'm so used to glancing around the room that I tend to do it automatically, and I move my hands far too much. So these are skills I'm having to learn just to calm things down so I work better when it's remote. So that's just a little thought and some introductions to the sorts of things that we now need to be thinking about. It's worth watching the YouTube videos, seeing what people are doing, tracking things, getting some experimenting. And if you need some help, don't forget, I do plenty of speaking coaching, and I'm coaching people online. So come on, we do it on Zoom or your own platform. I don't really mind. 30-minute free introductory session. Just drop me a line at ricky@rickyarundel.com and let's set something up, and I will help you to become a good or great speaker, online or offline. Join me tomorrow, day 24. I keep forgetting to change the date on this one. Day 24. Not quite sure what's happening tomorrow because I'm trying to get a few guests. Some of that may happen for tomorrow, but I hope you'll join me. And I hope tonight has been useful and helpful. We'll get something good done tomorrow. So Take care and have a good weekend. Take care.